Hello and welcome to another edition of Etsy News, where I cover what's been happening for the past week and we talk about what it means for us. And no doubt, as always, I will have forgotten something. I woke up this morning in a bit of a panic going, I forgot something to put onto Etsy News and I can't remember what it is. So feel free to roast me in the comments, as I know some of you will do. Anyway, let's dive right into it. So, first thing, this is not the slide I expected to come up first, but anyway, we've spoke about Etsy scams a lot. Rose, I hope you don't mind me sharing this. This was from Facebook, the Etsy seller community. It's an open post so anyone can see it anyway, but I just thought this one was so sad because this is a new person. They had a notification that they thought came from Etsy. We'll go into that. And then they had £200 come out of their bank. So not entirely sure, but what I wanted to pull up here is people are thinking they are getting legit messages from Etsy because the account has called itself Etsy Support. It's got the big orange E. And if someone messages you through Etsy Messages, you get an email notification saying a thing's been sent to your email. So people who are brand new think that they get a message and they get an email saying Etsy, saying you've got a message from Etsy Support, pretty much. I can't remember the exact wording. So they think it's real and they go to Etsy Support. We'll get more into what Etsy's doing about the scams, which is they did 2 funnies this week. But we'll get more into that. But it's easy to see how people get suckered into it. So I think it would be good if Etsy changed the way that they send the emails so that people don't think, if they haven't had any messages yet, you get an email saying this is from Etsy Support when it's not really saying that. It's just saying an account calling itself Etsy Support has sent you a message on Etsy, if you get what I'm saying. I hope that's all been resolved with Rose. That just saying 200 quid come out of her bank. Yeah, ooh. Anyway, okay. I have Etsy and bank issues, number 2 bits there. There was some reports from some people this week saying, I think it was Bank of America, their banks have been seeing too many fraudulent charges to Etsy, so they were declining payments of the seller's fees to Etsy. So that causes issues. Etsy saying you've not paid your fees, therefore we're going to put your shop on hold. We're unhappy with you. So you have to contact your bank and speak to them and stuff. But I was really worried that they're saying they're seeing too many fraudulent charges to Etsy. I don't know much about Bank of America, if they're too twitchy with this kind of thing, but yeah, that was pretty scary to hear. Etsy pricing tool, and here's the real big funny. This is laughably bad. The messages have been coming out saying, you're in the beta for this tool. Go and have a look at it. You've got early access because we haven't finished making the tool good yet. And yeah, it's interesting. So the idea is the Etsy pricing tool is supposed to, I'm pretty sure eBay does it. I think Amazon might do it as well. When you're creating a listing, they say, here's a range of what things have sold for that are similar to this. Now that's fine if you're selling iPads, iPhones, wow, iPhones, something that is the exact same thing. Knowing the price of similar things is handy to know. But if you're selling one-of-a-kind handmade stuff, that's very different. Now, it's only pulling up some of your listings to say this is what the prices should be. So it pulled up 3 of mine, and I think it's hilarious the ones it picked, because if you can see, the first and second are the exact same listing. Because I do custom things, I can have several listings that are pretty much the same price. the same image, the first image in this one, and I've just played around with my SEO. And the third one's very similar as well. So it pulled up 3 of my small-sized cat ornament custom sculptures. And yeah, this is kind of funny. So the first thing, this black cat ornament tells me that my price is below the median range of £116 to 128, and at 50 quid, my item's too cheap. I should raise that price. But my second one, which is the same thing, I think I understand the difference on this one. It says it's above the median range of £11 to £13. Okay. And my third one is saying, again, it's above the median range. Now, this is the same type of item, but it's saying £15 to £17. So what's going on here? Now, what I think, I don't think Etsy has told us a whole lot about this at all. But the first one, in fact, right, I didn't even read this properly. So when I first scrolled down this, I thought, the first one is called a sculpture. So obviously sculptures. Now, my second one, I call it an ornament. This is a UK versus US kind of thing, because in the UK, an ornament is something ornamental, like an ornament, like a ceramic figurine you would put on a shelf or something. We would call that an ornament. Whereas I'm aware, because of some of the customers that I've got when they've bought something that says an ornament for me, I'm aware it's more specific to something you hang on a tree or something like that. So I looked at this and I thought sculpture for the first one, ornament for the second. And I thought, well, they're saying, a sculpture is a piece of art, an ornament is something cheap you hang on a tree. But I hadn't noticed the first one does say ornament and sculpture. And the third one says ornament and sculpture. So the first one, they're picking up the sculpture and saying that's important. But sculpture's the last part of the listing. Yeah, makes no sense, but it is laughably bad that, 3 items can be pretty much identical, because it's buying a listing for me to create a custom work of a black cat, or anything you want, but a black cat. And each of it came up with a different price range. Anyway, let me know how you found this tool. I laughed out loud when I saw that. This was the next funny that Etsy did. Below the actual Etsy message for them telling me about the pricing tool, there is, now that it's below every message, but I first saw it below my actual Etsy message saying how to spot and report scams. And the thing is, now I saw that's just a thing that comes up below everything. I just thought it was a bit funny, but I am seeing a lot of people are looking at this, and they're worrying that the first time they see it, whatever the message is, that Etsy's flagged up something and is saying, hey, this message is a scam. So it was just really funny that people might be seeing it underneath actual Etsy messages. But they used to do it in a banner on the top, and now they're popping it up below the actual messages, telling you how to report scams. Now, there's something I'm seeing in the forums. This was a firestorm. I'm trying not to swear. So what they're saying here is, where if you get a suspect, keep in mind, it's not in this one, but in some of the other things, Etsy is saying Etsy will never ask for personal information in an email or something. And also saying Etsy support won't call you unless you've requested a call from our help centre. That is not true. How many of you had the call from them doing a shop critique? I didn't request a shop critique. They just phoned up, or I think they messaged first and let me know. But anyway, yeah, they were saying that Etsy would never send an email. It's not never ask for your details. Sorry, I'm miles away. Never ask for your details. It's slightly different from this message. I'm just going aside because I remembered it. But quite a lot of people, well, someone was saying they were in chat, they were chatting with Etsy support, and halfway through the chat, Etsy support asked for some personal details. And they mentioned how the wording on, this must be in a different place, I hadn't thought to say this is just an aside, the wording on the warning that they were looking at said that Etsy will never ask for this personal information. So they were asking in chat, they were asking in the forums and saying basically Etsy needs to reword how they're saying their things. They literally knew that this was a genuine message from Etsy, and genuinely Etsy asked for some personal data. But what happened was the forums are being policed now. Well, not policed, but there are some Etsy staff in there now answering questions, which is great. That we've needed that for ages. They used to do that, they stopped doing it, now they're back. But some of Etsy staff came on and said, "Oh no, that message, if it's asking for your emails and stuff, that message is a scam." And then they went away to look at other things, and there was a firestorm in the comments, quite obviously, because we'd all read and understood what this person was saying. But the Etsy staff member was obviously in such a hurry, they were just like, "Oh no, if they're messaging asking for information, it's a scam," and hadn't read it properly. So we were all like, hello? And obviously some other people were reading that and going like, "You thought you were messaging Etsy support? And suddenly, has Etsy support been hacked?" and stuff. Finally, the person came back in and said, "Oopsie, I did a bad." But it was a funny in the forums. Etsy, and actually, yeah, here's another thing is be really careful when you're talking to Etsy support, when you're just in the chat or on the forums. They're just humans and they can make mistakes. I've had several times I've contacted Etsy chat and asked them a question, and literally, right, from what the financial report said, Josh Silverman in his report and everything, they're going, "Woohoo, we closed 90% of calls in the first 2 minutes or something." So that's a metric that they're tracking. So if they're tracking quickly closing chat help requests and stuff, then that is the job of the people in chat support, is to get you out of chat support as quickly as possible. It's not saying we've successfully closed them, it's saying we've closed them. So chat just they just answer a question. They don't necessarily dig too deep into it, and I've had a few times them give an incorrect answer. Quite often people are reporting it takes quite a while to even get them to understand the problem. And this is, we've all demanded more chat help for sellers, so they've had to employ people, but these people are the least trained bottom of the food chain, because that's what you get when you demand this kind of thing. So yeah, the people are given incorrect answers. They're just copying and pasting, they just have files that if someone asks something about this kind of thing, just give them this standard template answer when they haven't actually read and understood the question yet. So if you are going through Etsy chat, unless it's a very simple question, but even then, but if you're just going through Etsy chat, make sure, don't just take their first answer, make sure they've understood your question. Keep on asking in different ways, and usually you'll have to be escalated up to a higher body, as you'll find in Tuesday's video when we're talking about some of the things that chat did a little wrong with me. So yeah, make sure and come back for Tuesday. Oh, and that's us for the week. Yeah, one more other thing I just wanted to ask, because I just got this from my mum last night. Have any of you been having trouble when you're opening your Etsy in the app and it's defaulting to a different country? My mum's saying currently, every time she's logging on, it's telling her she's in Etsy New Zealand. Now, my mum has been in New Zealand about 7 or 8 years ago, and she says she didn't even use her shop when she was in New Zealand. So that's a random thing, because Scotland is is not anywhere near New Zealand. So let me know if you're seeing that. But anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you next week or hopefully on Tuesday.